Hello and welcome to Wise Words New Interpretations. In this series, we will explain the whys, whens and wherefores of classical international quotations used by Chinese President Xi Jinping. In this episode, we will be explaining the line, "The time is always right to do what is right." This is a famous quote by the late Martin Luther King Jr., a leading figure of the American Civil Rights Movement. On September 22, 2015, during his visit to the United States, Chinese President Xi Jinping delivered a speech at a welcome banquet jointly hosted by the Washington state government and friendly communities, where he quoted this notable saying. He called on both nations to join hands and forge a brighter future together. Fast forward to November 10, 2023, at the National Center for the Performing Arts in Beijing, a concert titled 50 Years of Friendship commemorated the 50th anniversary of the Philadelphia Orchestra's first visit to China. The center's concert hall was packed, and the universal language of music stirred emotions in the audience. The Philadelphia Orchestra was the first American ensemble to visit China following the founding of the People's Republic of China in 1949. And even after 50 years, the Song of Friendship continues to resonate. 5 days later, on November 15, at San Francisco's Filoli Estate, Xi met with US President Joe Biden. It was a fruitful meeting during which the leaders found common ground. At a welcome dinner hosted by friendly organizations in the United States later the same day, Xi said that the tree of friendship between the two peoples can surely withstand any wind or storm. The tree of friendship between the Chinese and American people has undoubtedly flowered. In the exhibition hall of the Central Gifts and Cultural Relics Management Center in Beijing, one particular gift on display testifies to the Sino-American ping-pong diplomacy half a century ago. Back in February 1972, the American business community in Detroit presented a pair of blue paddles with white lettering to their Chinese counterpart. The paddles feature a white dove carrying an olive branch, with the words "A Generation of Peace" inscribed on them. The passage of time is like a rushing river. Much is washed away, but the most valuable remains. What has remained unchanged shall remain unchanged. The year 2024 marks the 45th anniversary of diplomatic relations between China and the United States. Over the past 4.5 decades, the relationship between these two global giants has had its share of ups and downs. But despite the twists and turns, the overall picture has been one of steady progress. As the world's two largest economies, the two countries collectively account for more than 1/3 of global economic output, and their populations represent nearly 1/4 of the world's total. Bilateral trade between the two comprises about 1/5 of the world's total trade volume. Their interests are closely intertwined. While the two nations' histories, cultures, social systems, and paths of development differ, as long as both sides uphold mutual respect, peaceful coexistence, and win-win cooperation, differences can be transcended, and a harmonious path for two major nations to coexist can be found. A valuable lesson of the past 45 years is that both countries have much to gain from cooperation and much to lose from confrontation. Sino-American relations are once again at a critical crossroads. Is the relationship between the two countries getting better, or continuing the tense relationship of the past few years? The time is always right to do what is right is of immense significance. Starting anew from San Francisco, it is imperative to fortify the foundations of China-US relations, going with the flow and adapting to the circumstances at hand. Both China and the United States should act responsibly, prioritizing the well-being of their peoples. By effectively managing and nurturing bilateral relations, the two sides can foster a conducive environment and favorable conditions for collaboration and exchange. Planet Earth is big enough for the two countries to succeed. one country's success is the other's opportunity.